In this 5 minute or less book review, we're going to be talking about the James and Exegetical Guide for Preaching and Teaching from the Big Greek Idea series. This volume is from Kregel Press, and Herbert Bateman and William Varner wrote it. It is an exegetical commentary, but it's written for the preacher, and also, as they say, it's written for the Greek student who has a demanding Greek teacher, which I thought was a pretty good comment. But it's really designed for pastors and students, and in my mind, it's designed for the church when they're designing it for pastors. So it is an exegetical commentary, but it's not exhaustive, but it is certainly academic, and I think every pastor, Greek student, or people who are just learning Greek need commentaries like this because it's user friendly. You do need to have a little bit of a working knowledge of Greek, both in grammar and vocabulary, to be able to make the best use of this commentary. It doesn't mean if you don't have those things that you can't, because there's tools in Logos that really help you figure out. It'll just take you a little bit longer to work through the resource. But I think it's a good, well-rounded commentary. And as they explain, and as you go through each of the sections, there's different things that you're going to get. So they're going to give you a big idea of the pericope or the section that they're working on. And this exegetical commentary specifically focuses on clauses. Really interesting to see how clauses might help you in preaching and teaching. So it talks about things like structural markers, grammar, clauses, all those things, but really focus, in my mind, on the clauses, and then it explains the different clauses. And not only that, but it gives the significance for how this might be helpful in preaching and teaching, which is why I think this might be a helpful series. I'm excited that they might produce more. At the making of this video, there's only one here in James, but I think Logos, it has 3 more in production. And so hopefully they will continue this series. So buy a copy so it can go off. So let me show you a little bit some of the things that I find most helpful. So I've got the book open right here, and it's got all the different sections, kind of like you would expect in a normal table of contents. And I always like starting these reviews with what I really like about them. And a couple things. One, I like this nugget index. And the index, it's indexed, so it's throughout the whole text. But they have all these different nuggets, so like grammatical nuggets. And there's a bunch of them. And that's, I think, really where you're going to be able to, like this theological nugget, be able to add to your preaching and teaching. And this is going to be a helpful one when you're to add it to like your maybe favorite commentary collection, because that verse might show up and you might think, oh, there's a theological nugget. So you can do some kind of word, clausal, Greek study through this commentary, but also be able to have someone help you with the theological or the insiders. They're calling it the nugget. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, is the nugget feature. Another thing, and I'm going to pull up this one. Every section that they deal with, again, it has this clausal outline. And so it gives you different kind of clauses that you can deal with. Logos has a propositional outline within their Bible, and I've got it pulled up right there. And I compared the two, and in some ways they're very similar, and in some ways they're different. And I find the one in the commentary a little less overwhelming because it is generally a little bit more slimmed down, and it's bringing out the clauses that I need to see. So it's making comments on the text, whereas the proposition outline in the Bible that I've got in Logos is doing that, but it has a lot more information. So sometimes I think it's helpful to just have things slimmed down and focus on what you're needing to focus. So you're going to get that, but you do have both of those to kind of compare and contrast, but there are some pretty striking differences when you go through like one of these sections and then your propositional outline in your Bible in Logos. So that's one thing I think is great. The other thing that I think is very helpful for preachers, every section is going to have this outline section. And I think I've gone through these. For those of you who preach, I've moved to kind of like a 1-point sermon. model, but for those preachers who like different points within a text or maybe subpoints, I think some of these things are gold. When someone's looking at a text and saying, how do I outline this text? Very insightful right here within this commentary. So it's not the main point of the commentary, but for preaching and teaching, I think this is a great place to kind of divide the text into different sections so that you can begin working through it and studying it, and maybe even just use those as your points. Of course, always giving credit. If you we don't want people to steal information, but it is a good outline. So I think that's another great thing is the outline, and great for deductive sermon preachers. All right, so that is a brief overview. I've gone past the 5 minute mark, so let me give a summary. It'll be interesting to see if other commentaries in the series stay in the same format, and hopefully the series will pick off because I think this has a good place for the pastor. It's technical, but it's not overwhelming. It's broad enough. The one downside is you do need a little bit of Greek to be able to use this commentary to its fullest. So it'd be hard for someone without that background to use it, but it's not impossible. There's so many resources out there, and especially in Logos, just to search. And just to keep in mind, this is not an exhaustive commentary, exegetical commentary by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think it's meant to be. I think it's meant for pastors, Greek students, people like me, and if you're watching this channel, probably people just like you. So if you're interested in purchasing this commentary, I'm going to put an affiliate link in the description, and please use it. And hopefully this video has helped, and I'd love if you're using this commentary to send me an email at preacherpreparation@gmail.com, preacherpreparation@gmail.com, or just put a comment here on the YouTube channel. You can also go to our website, preacherprep.com. Until next time.